Hey crew, what's going on? Today I want to talk about one of the most effective tools that I've come across to help improve my real life driving through sim racing. Alright, so that effective tool that I was talking about is Assetto Corsa, which is another simulator on top of the many simulators that are out there. But this one's very unique for some of the things that it has that none of the other ones do. And we'll talk about some of the pros and cons about it and why I feel that this single handedly can help me become a better driver, even more so than iRacing or some of the other games, too. So we're going to dive right into that. But before we do that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do that. Also, hit the like button if you like to see content like this, where we talk about sim racing and driving content, and also hit the notification bell. So when I go do my live streams or any of these videos, you'll be the first to know. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what is Assetto Corsa. It is a simulator, race simulator that came out in late 2013 as like a early release and officially launched at the end of 2014. So making the game pretty much like a 9 to 8 year old game. So it is a bit dated. So I know you might be thinking, why would this be useful to anyone, let alone someone that's trying to translate skills over to a real car? And we'll get to that in a second, but I just want to talk a little bit more about the game. So Assetto Corsa in Italian means race setup. So it's something that's definitely geared towards strictly racing. Games like Forza and Gran Turismo, they have a little bit more of a focus on modifying cars and a little bit more of the car culture. Where this is strictly you get a car and you go race it. There is some tuning that does happen, but not a crazy amount. But yeah, so right now we're watching a Janetta supercar lap around the Road Atlanta track. And both of these are actually not original content to the game. So these are mods that were downloaded off the internet, and there's a huge community for people that are doing mods and different type of supporting features for the game, whether it be adding details like rain to the game, different sun effects and everything like that. So the big benefit that differentiates this game from any other simulator out there is how moddable it is, and the community of modders is huge. So there are cars in this game that are brand new 2021 2022s that just came out now, where there are modders who are finding these ways to replicate these brand new cars, and the game supports it really well. So you can get some bad mods, obviously, if someone didn't do their homework or take the time to set up things. But the majority of them I have found have been phenomenal. And the cars that I've been able to drive and really feel like it definitely amps up the driving experience for the simulator with a lot of these mods. And yeah, like there's different tire models that have come out too. Like I was saying, weather. So not only just rain, but you get things like heat, how it affects the track, and even like the heat haze that happens on the track when it gets really hot, that wavy air effect. So yeah, it's really great, and it's created a lot of fun different scenarios and playable options that you can create with friends and whatnot. And one of those I want to go through today. If you've ever been on YouTube and watched a car, I'll call it a car show, that is called Best Motoring. They do a series called Hot Version. And basically, the hot version, you bring in a bunch of cars that are going to battle against each other, and they lap around the track, the scuba track, and on this track, they just kind of compete, talk about the cars, their philosophy behind how they came to modify them. So today we're going to do that using basically strictly mods. I think only one of the cars was an original car to the game, and see how it goes. So let's hop to it. Okay, and here we are at the Tsukuba circuit. It is a 2-kilometer long circuit that is located in Japan. And like I said with the show Best Motoring, they do a lot of their work off of this track. So we're going to today do our own little review and do our best to pay some respect to what those guys do. So be sure to let me know in the comments how badly I butchered, or if you love it and you want to see more of it. Okay, so let's now take a look at the cars that we're going to have in the competition today. First one being a 2016 WRX STI. This one has a 2.5 liter flat 4. It has been tuned to make 312 wheel horsepower, 290 pound-feet of torque. So this one's going to be a rocket. We got a 2007 Evo FQ400. So this is a factory upgrade of most powerful Evo X out there. Makes 408 crank horsepower and 387 pound-feet of torque. So it's going to be a rocket. We have the 2020 GR Yaris with a turbocharged 1.6 liter 3-cylinder engine that makes an impressive 257 crank horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. So this thing is a little pocket rocket. Let's see what it does. Got a 2000 RX-8 with a rotary 1.3 liter. This is the smallest engine in the competition. Makes 232 horsepower and 159 pound-feet of torque. It just weighs over a little over 3,000 pounds, so we'll see how it handles. We have a 2015 Miata ND1 with a 2 liter 4-cylinder engine. Makes 167 horsepower and 140 foot-pounds of torque. Weighs 2,480 pounds, making it the lightest car in the competition. So we'll see how that does. We also have a 2015 GT86 with a 2 liter boxer engine. This makes 200 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. Weighs 2,861 pounds, so we'll see how that goes. Also, we have the new boy, the 2021 GR86, the 2.4 liter boxer 4. This makes 228 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, and also weighs 50 pounds less than its predecessor. So more power, a lot more torque, and a little bit less weight. 2006 S2000, this is a 2.2 liter, makes 237 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque, and it weighs 2,855 pounds. So we'll see how that does with the rear-wheel drive cars. And then moving on, we have the front-wheel drive cars. This 2018 Veloster N, so 2 liter turbocharged engine with 250 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque at 1,450 RPM. So real low. This thing will pull. And last but not least, we have a 2018 Civic Type R, also with a 2 liter turbocharged engine, making 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. So that rounds out the class. Everyone's lined up, ready to get going here. Listen to those revs. And off they go. And the computer's a little wonky on this track. They kind of dart around at the start. But they collect themselves and get themselves sorted, and the Evo pulls himself into first place. That extra power doing it for the Evo. And the GR Yaris looks like it's going to try to make a move here on the STI2, and it's got it. Oh, actually, the STI on the brakes, just diving in on the GR Yaris. Yaris is just sawing away at the wheel there, just to try to maintain his line there. Love that camouflage livery for the GR Yaris. Probably like one of the best of the camouflages I've ever seen. So one of my favorites. Had to put it on the car. And now the leaders are coming down the straight, and the Yaris pulls out. Is it going to try to go for the pass again? And STI and the Yaris are side by side in the last turn, and STI just hangs on the outside, clipping the dirt, using all the track. The rest of the pack kind of spacing themselves out, but the back guys are not. RX-8's under attack from the Miata, and the Miata pulls off the move in the braking zone. Pulls it off and gets by nice and clean. The RX-8's not looking as powerful as it should. I wonder what's going on there. And now the GT86 and the S2000 have entered the chat. Let's see what's going on up front here with the leaders. Let's see how the STI looks on the inside going down this straight here. And the Yaris is going for the move again. And look at the speed it pulls down this straight. That's quite impressive. Considering this makes a lot more horsepower. I'm really shocked about that, but you know, these direct injected turbocharged engines, they say they make 250 horsepower. Who knows what they make. Alright, and the RX-8 is under, it looks like it's under attack again. GT86 and the S2000 want by. Let's ride along the S2000 here, and it's 3 wide into turn 1. They're bumping a little bit there. And S2000 has a bit of a run. It's just going to go for it. Let's see if it can stick it. Using all the track and then some. And the GT86 using the inside just to get that move pulled off. I don't know if it's got it there. It's going to have the outside on this turn. What a wild ride for these guys. And yeah, it gets it done. That is pretty impressive. Let's see what's going on here at the start-finish line. The GR86 in 4th. It's just cruising along. It's got quite a bit of pace. That Veloster too. The Veloster's in 5th, hanging on there. Or in 6th, sorry. So everyone's gotten spaced out a little bit now. We'll see if there's any more moves. We only have 5 laps here, so let's see what everyone can get done. That Yaris looks like it's closing the gap even on that Evo, so Yaris looking to be the fastest one here. Let's ride along with the Evo for a bit of the last lap that it's going to have here, and see how it does. You can see its hands are all over the place, I guess. Inputs are smooth, and I think that's what matters. Heavy on the brakes, chucking the steering wheel. Looks dramatic on the inside, but does it on the outside? Outside it looks pretty composed and smooth, so it can't really. We'll just chalk that up to an 8-year-old game. And is that Yaris going to be able to pull off the move on this lap? It doesn't have much more time left. And everyone else looks pretty well spaced out. And the Civic getting a little sideways there. That may or may not be me. The GR86 really impressive, hanging in there on 4th. And they're coming down to the line now. and the Yaris just does not have the puff to get it done. A couple more laps probably would have got it done. So we got the Evo in first, the Yaris in second, we got the STI in third. Fourth, the GR86, really impressive run for the GR86. Civic running really wide there. I guess fifth, sixth we're going to give to the Veloster. Miata's coming in for seventh, followed by the S2000. The GT86 is coming in. Split a bit of damage from the start there, and the RX-8 rounding out the pack. Impressive run from everyone in this race. And yeah, that is Assetto Corsa, and this was one of the mods. We downloaded the Scuba Track and downloaded all the cars and just created this situation. And it's one of the many versatile fun things you can do in Assetto Corsa. The AI, it has its days, it's good and bad, but you can get away with it on most tracks. If it's a native track to the game, a lot of the issues that you saw there don't really happen. So yeah, we're going to use this as a tool, because if we're able to download and modify all these cars, I'm sure I can download and modify my own car, right? Alright, so we're going to wrap up the video there. Big thank you for everyone for the support and watching the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and hit the like button. It helps out the channel grow quite a bit. And till the next one, who knows what we're going to do with Assetto Corsa, but I'm sure it's going to involve a certain Civic on a certain home track, but we'll see what happens. Thank you very much again. Till the next one, take care.